Hello everybody and welcome to another quick Dwarf Fortress tutorial. In this video we're going to be covering making a temple. Temples are a very important part of Dwarven society. It allows them to kind of relax, socialize to a degree, as well as pray and meditate to their gods. It's something that a lot of people tend to overthink, and it's actually quite a simple system. So we're going to be walking through the basics. It's a zone just like taverns and other things, but first, because we are going to be building off of this little hallway, we're going to need to dig a space for it. Temples can be as small or as big as you like. But we're going to keep it reasonable, so we're going to go with about yay big. Kind of give it a nice rounded off edge kind of feel to it, just so that it doesn't feel like a boring square. And we're going to give it a door. Then we're going to wait for our dwarves to dig out this area, and once this area has been dug out, we will continue with the video. Now that our dwarf here is making some progress, we have to do the next thing that any self-respecting dwarf would in a cave, which is start smoothing the floors. We don't want to have dingy, rocky, stubbly floors around our lovely, illustrious, soon-to-be temple to our chosen deity or a generic deity. So, because there are many gods in any dwarven society, you kind of have to select one, or you can go with a generic temple. Now, this kind of leads to some discussion as to whether or not you should make one temple for every single god, or just simply one generic temple. I tend to lean in the direction of just making one temple for everything, and then over time opening it up to more gods as they become requested, where there's also some fighting going on in the basement as per usual. So as the smoothing continues and we continue to smooth stuff out, we can now pretty quickly, once an area becomes available, select a spot for our altar. Now, keep in mind, temples are a pretty modular thing and don't actually require any specific furniture. You can just make a temple an open square in an open field. It doesn't even need to be indoors, in fact. There really is some fighting going on in the ground and someone's been found dead, as per usual with Dwarf Fortress. So, first off, we're going to throw a door onto the outside of this, just so that it looks like a room or a space unto itself. Very important. So, we can either press B on the keyboard or click on the build key, and then we're going to click on doors and hatches and grab ourselves a door. This is something that we made at the stoneworker shop previously, and it's going to be built right there. Now that everything is dug out and we're just finishing up the smoothing, we're going to construct ourselves an altar, or also known as an offering place. Underneath the construction menus in any of the workshops that can build them, either out of wood or out of stone at the stoneworker shop like we did, they are referred to as offering places. So we're going to jump into furniture, by either pressing B to pop up the build menu and F to press up to get furniture. And then we can either press P on the keyboard to grab the offering place or simply click on the offering place. Now this is a small little place of worship, essentially. Now the rest of the construction of this here temple is going to be done within the zone screen. There are certain instances where you may need to increase the value of these zones, but because this is a temple that we're just building of our own accord and not one that is demanded by our citizens, we are not adhered to any specific item values. We can now click on zones and we are going to go to meeting area. We're going to click and drag and fill this entire little spot up with this meeting area. And then if we want, we can be a little bit fancy and just make sure that things kind of fit and don't look off. So we're going to select all of this a second time, although we have it set to erase right now, so let's just remove that and build our meeting area. Now, from this meeting area, we can give it one of these following settings. This one, as I said, is going to be a temple. So we're going to assign it as a new temple. Now, we could either assign one of these gods to each different temples of their own and give these specific religions each a temple of their own, but that would be incredibly cumbersome and confuse the dwarves' pathing and they wouldn't know where to go to pray. So what we're going to do is essentially give a no specific deity temple to everybody, where anybody can go and worship at any time. If we want to set details for specific rules with this temple, we can click on this little magnifying glass here. We can allow visitors to visit the temple or citizens only. In this instance, I think this should be for citizens only, maybe citizens and long-term residents, as we do have a couple mercenaries living here. And this is going to be the spot where all dwarves can congregate and worship. If you want to add any other fancy additions to your temple, feel free. You can add anything from musical instruments to coffers and chests to store items in, right down to statues and various other pieces of furniture like chairs and tables or food, even if you want. There's still really some fighting going on in the basement. That's kind of unfortunate. If you found this tutorial helpful as a way to show your dwarves where to go and worship and get some much-needed downtime as our Kavish friend here, who is meditating on death, just like the basement, is doing. If you found this video helpful, I recommend checking out this YouTube channel. I got more tutorials on Dwarf Fortress than you could watch in a reasonable amount of time, as well as just more Dwarf Fortress than you could reasonably watch in a lifetime. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.